Okay, so like I said, I want to talk a little bit more about this section right here, which is still chapter 61, Isaiah. Now, the main thing to understand and to recognize is the connection of line 7 following verse 6. And we've looked at what verse 6 is, and I'm telling you that this is the locust, the coming strong delusion. Those are going to be spewing this false doctrine from their mouth of this fire, smoke, and brimstone. But to everybody's ears, it's going to be made to sound like it's the best thing since sliced bread. But the spiritual implication is that these words are going to have the power to bring you to the very fires of hell. That's why those symbolic symbols are being used of fire, smoke, and brimstone, because that's really what those words contain on the interior. But superficially, they're going to be like freaking candy, man. Colorfully packaged candy that everybody's going to eat up, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for instantaneousness. They're looking for microwaved perfection. They're looking for things that are painted up to look beautiful, but on the inside are ugly and vain. So it's no joke, and it's not anything that's hard to see once you just allow yourself to just look for some peace, man. And once you're looking for some peace, this is where it's gonna end up leading you to. It's gonna lead you to a place of understanding. And to have some peace, you have to begin to be able to understand why things are the way they are. And if you don't, you're going to run the risk of going into depression, like more than half the United States is in possibly right now. And most people are in debt and in depression, and they're continually looking for material happiness as a way out. It only creates more debt, more depression. So the value of life is being removed. The value of life is on the spiritual, it's on the interior. The material is the superficial, it's the exterior. We know that all the goodness is on the inside, but they block us from being able to realize that and realize its value. The only thing now we realize is quality and quantity. But to get to the quality rather than just the quantity of the material gain, we have to see the value in it, and that's what the Spirit does for us. So because we're not able to use the Spirit discernment, now not all of us, some of us choose to follow the path on our own and have fought the tide to become spiritually aware and close to the Father. But for those who haven't, they are being carried by the tide in the material direction or the material perception, and that is the only information that they can compute, therefore almost guaranteeing the input. If it's of a material nature, well then the output, their translation, once the information enters into their mind, if it only goes through the material translator portion of the brain, well then their actions are only going to be translated as materially empty actions with no spiritual fruiting. So most people are right-handed. If you could get kind of philosophical and understand this, the world is being built by right-handed ideologies, which is fueled by materialistic concepts. So there's no spiritual works being implemented or created by the hand of the average man, and they use the average man as the fuel to build the material construct. And believe it or not, the Masons represent their average man, because really he's just a pawn himself in building this material construct. So even the Mason's hand himself is even right-handed, mostly the lower initiates and even some of the upper, but the majority of the Masons themselves are the ones that are used to build this material right-handed concept, and at the same time fuel this philosophy in the educational system by controlling everything in the academic system. And they've definitely absolutely accomplished that. So now all the stimulus is material, and the only thing that can be outputted from that mathematical equational input is more materialism, and they got us locked in. So I'm going to speak about this confusion when I come back, and I'm going to pair this with, like I said, another verse. You just need to begin to absorb this, and I'm just hoping you are.